Hi guys, welcome to my back patio garden. It's just too nice to be indoors. I have a few things I want to show you. And yes, I'm wearing my sun hat. To be honest, I've got a little idea about wearing the sun hat because it's 27 degrees this evening in Northern Ireland. Yeah, I know we're just not used to 27 degrees. And I'm going to Italy next week. And it's going to be a little bit warmer, and this is the hat I'm taking. And I was just trying to see how sweaty my head would get wearing this. So that is the reason for the hat. Plus, the sun is very strong, and it means that I am not having to cover my eyes with sunglasses because you wouldn't get to see my eyes. Wouldn't that be awful? Anyway, I hope that you're all well. I'm having a water. Have to keep hydrated in this weather, don't we? Are you good at drinking your water? I have some days where I'm better than others. Anyway, to not digress any further, you can see I have a thing about shoes. Now these very kindly have been gifted to me for a collaboration for Instagram, and I've done my reels for a few of them. A few of them have went live, a few of them won't be going live until I come back from my holidays. And I just wanted to show you and talk to you about them and review them, not because I have to, but because I really want to introduce you to Vivaia. And the Vivaia brand, I have quite a few of their shoes now. And yes, while they are quite expensive, I mean, most of them retail somewhere between 90, 80 pounds, maybe up to about 130 pounds. So yes, they can be pricey, but they are a brand who recycle plastic bottles to make these shoes. So they're very sustainable, and they are great believers in comfort being key. Right, I've just changed around where my shoes were because I realised without my glasses I couldn't see that you guys weren't able to see what I was sharing with you. And I don't know if you notice it, but there's also a little bag. But before I go any further, if you are joining me for the first time, my name's Ruth, 56, and I've been on YouTube for just over a year, and I'm here for you to style yourself fabulous. I totally believe that women of all ages, of all sizes, can feel and look amazing. And the way I do that, I encourage you guys, is to embrace colourful clothes, is to embrace thinking a little bit more creatively about how you wear your items. It's about not saying no to trying new things and new ideas. I could say that for a whole lot of things, because I think as we get older, we can get stuck in a rut a little bit. We're creatures of habit, aren't we, really? So the idea would be that we try and push ourselves outside our comfort zone sometimes when it comes to what we wear. Now, if you check out my videos, I do quite a lot of print clashing videos, and while it's not for everyone, it makes my outfits fun and shows my personality, which is fun and vibrant and upbeat. So think about your personality. Does your clothes show your personality, or are you dressing like everyone else because it's safe? Think about that. Because in our 50s and beyond, we should be coming into our own. We should be feeling more confident, because as you get older, you start caring less about what others think. That's how I feel. I used to worry about my fashion, that I would not offend others, but they would look at me and maybe point the finger. As you get older, you start to think more, does it really matter what they think? What really matters is how you feel about yourself, because I believe if we dress in items that we feel amazing in, well, then that confidence shines through for everything we do and for everyone that comes across us. Sorry if you can hear traffic in the background. We're having a lot of traffic because it's a bank holiday weekend. There's a lot of caravanners going past our road on the way to Portrush and Portstewart. We also have the golf coming to be open in the week after next, and everything's just super, super busy, and there's so many people about, so that's what you'll hear the noise about. So If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would, and if you check out some of my other videos, you'll get an idea and a feel for the kind of things I do. I'm all about sustainable fashion. I will show you sometimes new things, like these shoes, for example, but I like to see how you can add one or two items to your wardrobe and use things you already have to create several different kinds of looks, because it just means we feel as if the items we have are more fresh, and they feel more unique if we can change them up a little bit. So that's what I'm here for, to inspire you to think a little bit more outside the box when it comes to styling. Now, I've got these shoes here, and I've wore them all in this last few days. Now, I can't say I've got a favourite as yet, because they all are unique in how they look and their purposes. But shall we give a start? I'm just going to take a drink because it's really very warm here. We've got a little bit of a breeze, but I'm feeling a little bit hot and bothered. So, first pair are these little sliders. Now, can you see they've got like little butterflies on them? You get these in nude pink, which is what these are, and a beautiful buttermilk yellow. And I have a feeling they come in one other colour, maybe more, but that's certainly the colours that I saw them in. Now, they are very flat little sliders, but they have a little bit of arch support here. They're not very flexible. Now, normally Vivaias are very flexible, but sliders, these particular ones, aren't not flexible. But everything is cushioned. And this fabric, as always, their items or shoes are made out of plastic recycled bottles, but it feels like fabric. It feels like a fabric that's stretchy, and you can sponge these. Some of them are machine washable. These can be sponged clean, but I've worn them quite a lot actually since I got them about 4 or 5 days ago, and they're not dirty. They're not easy to dirty, whatever way the fabric is. I just love the little 3D effect of the butterflies, and I will show them on now shortly. Just so you see, I wore a dress from last year. This is from Ivy and Leaf Boutique online. I will drop you her link below to Michelle's online shop. This particular dress comes in a range of like prints and colours, and if you like something floaty and cool, because this is like that lovely cheesecloth sort of fabric, so it keeps you cool and you still look very chic. It's got a little bit of an elastic waist, and I have just put, it's like a empire line waist, and I've just put a little belt on here. I forgot to show you the little sliders on, so I've come into the house. This is me after I've done the editing. I realised I was sure I had recorded this, but I must have had the phone on. Brain fog. So as you can see, they look really cute, don't they? And I think I can walk really well in them. My foot stays in them really well. It doesn't step out. They're cushioned, they're padded, they're very pretty. Because they're nude, with everything. There we go. Right, where were we? So you got to see those little sliders on. They're really very comfortable. They've got a little bit of stretch. Would you be able to wear them all day, walking about? Depends how much walking you're doing. They're certainly not for trekking. They're not for city walking. They're more, I think, for a chill day when you're maybe not going very far. You could be going out for lunch or something. I wear them in the house actually in the evening times. I find I just like to get my feet into something really comfortable in the summer. I am kind of using them like slippers now. £80 is expensive for slippers, but they are extremely well made, and they've got little breathable holes at the arch here and at the footbed. Good supportive sole, a good sturdy sole. If you like something flat, say you're into your ballet flats, these might be perfect for you. But I say I wouldn't recommend walking very far in them, because I just feel there's not enough support for the ankle area or the foot. And for me personally, I need quite a bit of support because I would have issues with my knees, and I need to have good sturdy support if I'm doing a lot of walking. So that's that particular pair. Let's talk about the next pair. Now, there's two of these pairs and they're known as the Cristina. So the Cristina comes in this lovely satin fabric, and then also comes in this beautiful fabric. So it's like a satin interior and there's bits of satin on our nubuck kind of feel, and then they've got the holy mesh look. Now what's unique about these is that they come with two sets of laces, but they encourage you to try different kinds of laces. At the moment I'm using both kinds of laces together, and I quite like that look. Yes, it probably makes the tie a little bit longer, but I think it just looks very pretty. I do love the little ribbon. I think it's very, very pretty. I'm faffing here a little bit trying to open them. I was having them all bowed up so they would look pretty while I was displaying them. So I'm going to try these little ones on the feet. I will say that these are called a sneakerina. They're a cross between a ballet flat and a sneaker, or we would say a trainer over here in the UK. So support wise, it's a very cushioned footbed, very cushioned indeed. Arch support, no, there's no arch support. I wore these the other day, all day, did quite a bit of walking, and I felt they were good. And I have read reviews where people have walked around cities and found them very, very comfortable. So if you have no foot issues, they will be fine for all day. I have foot issues and knee issues. I've got a bunion, but these are made especially to not press on any bunions, so don't worry about that. But most of my issues come from my knees. Without going into issues, maybe I will just tell you guys. I was one of those children that was born with a clicky hip because I came out breech. They must have, back in the day, they didn't do a cesarean section whenever the mother was having the baby. No, they pulled the baby out by the feet. It sounds awful, doesn't it? And yeah, sounds awful. My poor mother. But what they did was they dislocated my hip. Excuse me. And it wasn't discovered until I was 8 months old and I was crawling on the floor. My father thought there was something wrong. He thought one of my legs looked longer than the other. So they took me to the doctors, and yes, an x-ray showed up that I did indeed have a dislocated hip. And at 8 months old, I was put in plaster Paris. I used to have a photograph, I must dig it out, with my legs spread out like this here, and just a hole for them to change my bum when I was a baby. So that I was in plaster Paris. I can't actually remember how long my mum said I was in plaster Paris, but it was a good number of weeks for that to reset. And anyway, it fixed my problem, because if I hadn't had that fixed, I would have had one leg much shorter than the other. And I'm sure you've seen ladies and gentlemen back in the day who that happened to, and you've seen them with like a one thick sole or heel and then a thin one, and that was to offset that limb. So I am very fortunate that they caught on to me, but these things don't go without their issues. And the issue was that I've been left now with my hip being a bit weak, and given birth to two boys, I had hip dysplasia from that, and there's just a weakness there. So my hip has caused my knee to go out of alignment. Long story short, but there you go, you're getting the whole story for Ruth today. So comfort's everything for me now. Back before I had the knee issues, and that's going on 3 years now, I would have been prancing around everywhere in high heels. Didn't think a thing about it. In fact, the physiotherapist, when I went to her, she said to me, I don't know how you got to 50 something wearing heels with your hip issues. So there you are. I got a bit longer out of my heels than I thought, but I did grieve for not being able to wear my heels anymore, because I was such a girl for wanting to wear my heels, especially with only being 5'2". So yeah, speaking too much again. Anyway, I am waffling. I hope you find it interesting, and if you do find it interesting, do pop me a little comment below, because then I'll know whether to keep waffling or telling you bits and pieces about me, or just to get on with showing you what I'm showing you. So let's pop on these little shoes now. These are probably my favourite because I love, in hot weather, they're going to keep my feet cool, sorry, because you feel the cool air going through them. But I like that the toes in. Some of us don't really like showing our toes off in summer. I don't know about you ladies, but it saves you having to have your toenails painted, for example. So it's just a little bonus that I'm missing. Am I missing that? No, I'm not missing a strap. So these are, as I explained to someone, they are called the colour toast, and they feel like butter. They feel soft as butter. Let me show you them. My camera's not a very good angle, so you're going to not see my head. But there you go. Aren't they lovely? And they are soft and spongy. I think they look very pretty in the feet. I only wear size 4, size 37 European size. But they just look so attractive on the feet. Look at that, like little ballerinas, little square toe. So they look so dainty. And then the little ribbon ties just add to the look, I think. I'm sure you'll agree. I hope you'll agree. So that's those little ones. Moving on. So exactly the same shoe again. These are called the Cristina, by the way. But this time, the satin ones. Now the satin ones are made in exactly the same way. They've got the double lace lining, double laces, which you can change out to just having the silk or having the actual thinner lace. It's up to you. Oh, another selling point of these is they've got an elastication round the heel, so there's no rubbing of the heel. How many times have we bought shoes, ladies, and your heel is rubbing and you're having to put a plaster on it? Yeah, so that doesn't happen with these. They're like little brogues, but again, they're called the Sneakerina, and it's got this sort of like satin fabric here, and then this is like nubuck here and nubuck here, and the soft, spongy sole inside. No arch support that I can feel, but because they're nice and spongy, they feel so comfortable on. These are going to really come into their own, I think, in cooler days. I think they'll look amazing with skirts and dresses and jeans in winter. I have put them on the other day with my little capri better tights, and I thought they looked really amazing with that. Better. Now, aren't they really, really nice in the feet? Now, they're not for everyone, but I really, really like them. And the comfort, and just because these are a bit more closed in, I just think coming into the cooler days, they'll really come into their own. I mean, I wouldn't wear them with this long dress. I think it takes away from the dress. The other ones worked well because they were lighter in colour, and they were a little bit, the mesh holiness of them just made them work a wee bit better. These are a little bit solid, so I think you need something shorter, and that's why I think they look really well with better tights. Or if you had little like ankle grays or trousers or jeans, I think that would look really nice with them. And I will do a video sometime with styling these shoes up. In fact, whenever I'm over with Jo next week, she and I have got the same shoes, although I'm only taking 2 pairs with me because I'm travelling light, and we'll maybe do a little bit of a video chat on that. So that's that particular, those shoes. And then I've just one more pair to show you, and that's these ones. These are the Cara. They come in lots of different colours. I chose, it's like an almond and tan colour. I can't remember what they actually call the colours. These are called a sport sandal because they have got like this adapted sole that's amazing for just pressure. So you could really bounce and jump on these, and you would feel as if you're still walking in air. They're light. All these Vivaia shoes are very light. Even for these sandals, you would think with this clumpy heel, they would be heavy, but no, they're not. Now, sorry, I've wore them, so they're not overly clean at the bottom. So for me showing you, but they are really lightweight, and you can adjust them here. there's all sorts of different holes, so that's great if you've got a narrow heel. I have got a narrow heel, but what I find is they come up high on my feet. I can actually slip these on without taking out the buckle every time because there's a little bit of stretch. So let's pop these on now. All right, now these go with this dress wonderfully. They really do. See how, I don't know about you, there's something about a chunky sandal and I just feel as if I'm walking on air and it feels so nice. And I'm just realising my tripod is bouncing off the sun and you're getting to see the shadow of my tripod. So those are fabulous. See how they look? You've got your, they're keeping my feet are firmly in place. They're not coming through. Sometimes the wide part is so wide that your toes keep sliding through. My foot is wide, so that's adapting well to them. The straps holding them snugly in place. I could walk miles in these, which is lovely. So now I've told you about my shoes. One more thing to show you. Now, I'm a huge fan of Nepali bags. And Sarah, who runs Nepali Bags, had an outlet sale and she had a little bit more money off them there this week. So I was wanting a coral one. And this, yes, I'll just wait till that tractor goes past. This is the Alice in coral. As you can see, there's a bit of orange here. I love that there's like an orangey coloured leopard print. And it comes with this strap, which is adjustable. I love the Alice. I have this in yellow as well. I love it. She's a great size, the Alice. I'm quite small, so I find sometimes, while I've got the Mildred, and that is one of the best sellers for Sarah, it's a little bit wider and sometimes can look a little bit big on my frame because I'm quite small. I think if you're taller and larger in size, you definitely can get away with a bigger bag, whereas I kind of look better with a smaller bag. A bigger bag is inclined to swamp me. I just wanted to show you, I haven't put anything in this bag yet. There's 3 compartments, and then there's a zipped compartment, so you've got somewhere to put your lipsticks. Lovely little bag, and as usual, there's the different colours of leather. The back in this one is black. There's yellow stitching. It's a lovely little bag. I just love the quality of the leather and the colours. I just love my Nepali bags, and this is one I am taking on my holidays because it will go with everything I have packed. The sun is still shining, which is wonderful. I hope you have enjoyed the little show of these amazing shoes tonight. It's not an advert. I have got gifted them, but it was for my Instagram that I got gifted them. And I just really wanted to introduce you to Vivaia. If you, sorry, there's another tractor. Let's just wait till it goes away. We live beside the farm with my mum and dad, so there's always tractors coming and going, especially in the summertime. So what we're saying was that Vivaia is a brilliant brand, and yes, it is a little bit pricey, I will say that, but if you're wanting something comfortable that looks after your needs, if you've got bunions, if you need hidden arches, because a lot of them come with arch support, and it's definitely worth your while looking at Vivaia as a brand. I'm not getting paid anything to talk to you about them. I do get gifted these items, and I do love to be enthusiastic about items that I really love, and I really love Vivaia as a brand. And there'll be more coming whenever it comes into August. I'm actually getting a few more items, but that's more for the winter time, and I'm really looking forward to showing you guys those. I am sweltered. I need to go in and take a cold shower. It is roasting. I hope you're staying cool wherever you are. I hope if you enjoyed my video, you would consider subscribing. I hope you hit thumbs up. Drop me a comment below. Maybe you'll come back and see me in my next video. I would really love that. I really appreciate the support, guys. I do appreciate you watching. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. So take care. Bye-bye.